In the last part of our seminar, we're going to be looking at right angle theorems. Notice none of these have names. So if you use them, you're going to have to write them out, and you're not going to use them very often, but obviously we'll probably use them on an assignment or a problem here or there. Let's look at these. If you have perpendicular lines, then you're going to have 4 right angles. So if I tell you 2 lines are perpendicular, you know all 4 angles are right angles. We know all right angles are congruent. So if I tell you you have 2 right angles, by definition, sometimes we're going to say all right angles are congruent. So this will be the theorem we'll use. If we have perpendicular lines, we know they form congruent adjacent angles. So if you have 2 perpendicular lines, since we know we have 4 right angles, we know all right angles are congruent. We know angle 1 and angle 2 are going to be congruent. If our fourth theorem, if 2 angles are congruent and supplementary, then we know each one is a right angle. So if I have 2 angles that are congruent, and then we know they add to 90, well, or supplementary, I'm sorry, that means they're each 90, because 90 plus 90 is 180. And the last theorem we'll look at, if 2 congruent angles form a linear pair, so if you have a linear pair and you know these 2 angles are congruent, you know they have to be right angles, because if they add to a linear pair, or they form a linear pair, we know they're supplementary, and if we know they're congruent, we know each angle is 90 degrees.